Yeah, it doesn't look like we're gonna get too many people coming in today. So I'm just gonna do a quick analysis of Bitcoin and Ethereum, maybe a few other coins, and then yeah, I'll just leave it there for today. We had a few interesting points of news today in sort of global economics. The central bank rates of the Bank of England and the European Central Bank, and Bank of England pretty much doubled their rates from 0.25% to 0.5%. Seems like there's a bit of a, not an uproar, but yeah, a little bit of a panic in terms of what that's gonna do to the economy. ECB left it unchanged, so they haven't fully switched their stance to being completely devoid of demand and changing to a sort of deflationary or trying to combat inflation. They haven't sort of changed to that stance yet, which we might see in later months as everyone else sort of decides to move in front of them. But something was heard talked about today is Germany's I think it's their GDP or their I can't remember what the actual data the name of the data point is, but they're in the negative. I don't know if it's GDP or something along those lines. If they get another quarter of it, they're in a recession. So it might be a thing of where they're kind of looking at their largest sort of country's economy and the risk hiking rates might do to that, maybe pushing them slightly into a recessionary phase. So they might just be looking to protect that a little bit before they think about hiking. Anyway, Bitcoin today, it's come off a little bit, not too much. If we go on to this chart, we can see that we've just broken this low that we made. When was this? The 31st of Jan. So that was like Sunday. No, sorry, that was Monday. Came up, made the high of the week. And we've just kind of broken that now, and we're trading on the lower side. Could see that as support being retested as resistance. We could be trying to reclaim this level. Yeah, gonna need reclaim this level back. Gonna need a few more 4-hour candles to confirm that. You might be able to see it with a bit more precision on lower time frames, what's actually happening. But for now, I'm still holding my view that we do go lower. The next target for me looks like these lows here around 36k, and then obviously we just keep going from there. If I go back to this chart, you can kind of see we're trading around last week's open. So once again this week, this level has been a point of interest. So for me now, I think for that next sort of phase of selling off, we need to break this level to get sort of trading around these support levels here and the eventual lows at around 33k. But yeah, right now it looks to me that we're gonna play this range a bit more. I think I've got that marked out as the weekly open. So yeah, 2 weekly opens here. Could be playing this range within these 2 weekly opens a bit longer before we get further confirmation of any sort of direction. Could see this as support for higher, up into the 40k, like we were saying earlier this week or last week as well, where the market needs to come up a bit higher, take out some more sort of sell side liquidity, maybe punish the people that are selling at these levels, me included, before we can get that move lower into the bigger 30k level and start sort of taking out these lows and cancelling the trade that took us to all-time highs. So yeah, let's go back onto the lower time frames. If anyone watching this has been keeping up with my trading log, I've been in from about I'm in from 38.4k, so around about just above these highs here, somewhere here, just before the breakdown. I was holding from a bit lower. I think I started around 37.8, and just as we pushed up into this level here and I saw a bit of weakness on, I think it was the 1 hour, I just started adding a little bit here and there. So now I think I'm around like 60% on a 10x. Got a few other trades on Ethereum as well, and BNB and Harmony. And yeah, I think I'm averaging now about 2,750 on this ETH short, and BNB around 380, 379. So yeah, similar thing happening on ETH here as well. I'm not sure if this is a weekly open. Let's just go up into the weekly and see what this level is. Let me just check this chart as well. No, I haven't done any analysis on that chart as well. So yeah, just a bit of higher time frame there. Let's just mark out the 2 opens and see if we're getting a similar thing happen on ETH as we are on Bitcoin. So we've got last week's open here. No, that's not last week's open. Oops. Last week's open is here. And we've got this week's open there. And to me, it just looks like price has come back above. Is now just looking at this week's open. This week's open. Last week's open. Can just see if we're looking at 4 hourly, this is the last 2 weeks of price. We can see last week's open was a good level of interaction with the market. This week's open seems to be that the market is finding support currently. So yeah, very interesting what we're kind of seeing right now. And if we're looking at just trends, Ethereum is from its lows trending quite nicely right now. So there is a possibility that there is still opportunity for higher prices. I'm not going to go trying to get this trend line perfect. It's pretty obvious there is a trend line. You could call that a break. I'm not really going to go into that because, as you can see, I just drew a line on a chart. But there is a clear trend around these levels here. So yeah, what I would be looking for, possibly for some high leverage shorts, maybe from this level to this level down here, taking off 75% and then just trying to go for the rest. That right there is let's put the short position on so we can kind of see risk to reward as well. So 6% roughly to those lows from these lows, and I would be looking for around 1%, because if it's 100x short, then every percent is 100% of things. So maybe 2%, just so with like a $1 account, I could just say, yeah, with a $1 margin, I could just say, yeah, 1% on this trade, or do a 1% margin and risk two for 10, 2% for 10%, 1% for 5%. No, so was it 5, 6? Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Really want to see more of a breakdown before we confirm that. We're getting towards the end of the week as well, so I like to see reversals around this time of the week as well. We kind of got it, kind of got the high on Tuesday. I like to see highs of the week form around Tuesday, Wednesday. And we get the reversals going into the rest of the week, the end of the week. It kind of shows like demand, and then people taking their profits, and price then reverting towards the end of the week. So kind of fitting what I would like to see in terms of a pullback before a larger sell-off or a continuation of selling. But at the same time, there is still space above these highs here made this week that we could just find ourselves trading into before we get a continuation of selling. So yeah, and I think ETH, Bitcoin, BNB, they all do trade similarly. I feel like BNB looks a lot weaker than ETH right now, possibly. They've both had sort of the run up, but BNB wasn't making sort of new highs this week. It kind of started selling off from last week, even though it's had slow sort of turn to the downside. So yeah, my targets for BNB are very modest, just these lows here. I think I have set the TP on this, so I will be out of the trade once we hit that. Could possibly, maybe too late in the week now to be looking for 100x shorts. Depends on how we move into the weekend, but possibly from these levels, I think you've got, if we were to take rough, that is not the right thing. If we were to take where we are now, where does, yeah, let's go down. Let's just bring this way a bit, go down into the hourly. Don't see too much of a trade here right now. What we could possibly be seeing as well is just some punishing if we do get this continued move up here. Just a raid of some of these highs up here, possibly about to happen before any continuation lower. And then from there, if we're looking at shorting the highs, let's say 30, let's say the previous support level that broke before this move down, so around 380. If we're looking at that, what have we got here? This is roughly about 5%. That's more like 3%. And to here, from 380 to 323 is like 50, kind of roughly about 15%, 16%. So there is a possibility if we can continue this market structure for a trade, a decent trade to those lows. If we just see this here, if this can continue, there is a decent trade down to those lows there, of about, I believe, like 5 to 1, possibly 6 to 1. So yeah, something to watch for there. I wanted to also look at Bitcoin dominance because I don't think it's doing much right now. I was hoping it would have found support. I would have been able to get back above this level, but it does look like we've just had this level break. I'm not sure if it's a higher time frame level. I don't know where I drew it from. Okay, so we've had sort of a change in market structure here with this high been taken, and now we're just kind of getting a pull back on dominance where we could be seeing price come back to these levels around here. I do think dominance long term goes up from these levels, so yeah, this pullback just could be what naturally needs to happen before we start moving higher. So it'd be a good time to be looking at short-term sort of altcoin longs, things like that. They might not fully died yet, but at the same time, with the way everything's going, I wouldn't really want to be any long any alts right now, apart from Ethereum and BNB, just because the volume's so or their market cap and the size of them is so high. It's kind of easier to read them than others. But yeah, Bitcoin comes down and it can hold this level. That is a good sign for alts. As you can see, ADA's up 2% today. Dodo's up 10% today. So yeah, good environment still for alts, even though Bitcoin is selling. It could possibly be as well that we have found a support level, I believe. So yeah, things to look out for there. And the last thing I think I just need to look at is Harmony, 1 USDT. And So what I'm looking at here, if we can get rid of all of this drawing, I don't know what I can keep and what I can't keep. Let's just get rid of all of it. So obviously we got this level here of support that's just being held right now. Market on the daily is just kind of coiling up, falling into this level here. You can see that small trend line there. If we go into the 4 hour, it might be a bit clearer. You can see just coiling up, going into these levels here. If I just draw out this area here, what we might see is if we can get that environment where dominance is going down, so market share of Bitcoin is going down while Bitcoin is holding a level, you might see a situation where you know, we coil up a bit more, break out, or sort of stab down to like 16 cents, come back above, and then start trading higher and taking out these highs. And then we have support levels around this area here, or support support levels turned resistance in between these levels here for the market to kind of trade into before continuation. So I've said in previous calls as well, my target for shorts is 11 cents, which is just these lows here, somewhere around these lows here. So yeah, longer term short, but we could possibly be seeing an opportunity for long back into the 20s, 20 cents, 21 cents areas here. I think it's between 21 and 26 there. So possible long, and that is if we get the long position on, if we could get maybe this with a what, let's say a 2% stop. 2% stop around you know what, let's say 5% play a 20, let's do a 20x play here, and then we get a move of up to 22. It's roughly 37%, so we say 5%, 20x, 10% of margin, no sorry, 100% of margin for around about 100% of margin for around 700%, 750% of margin there. So pretty much 7-to-1 trade there. If we can get that, that would be clean. 4 hourly, just need to wait and see what happens there. We might not actually get any lower than where the lows are, but the lows are the proper low, 23rd of Jan here. It's just the market's just been sort of taking the holding that level, sort of getting buys. Apart from this dip here, we've been getting sort of higher highs or higher lows, sorry. So what we might see is just quick grab of that, move up, and a move to the upside. And all depends on what Bitcoin is doing from these levels here. Right now on the hourly, it looks fairly good for a move up. But as you can see, hourly prices right now don't really make any difference. It changes from hour to hour. So we could see a massive pump in the next couple of hours. We might see a massive dump. We might just see price just stay around these levels. I think volumes dried up a lot in the last maybe since we got down to these levels, maybe a lot longer. What am I looking at? Indicators here. Is it in that menu? Volume. I think it's this indicator here. Just hide all these drawings. Go up to the 4 hour as well. Here you can see the last got volume coming down into this level, got a little bit of volume coming up, but since then it's been drying up. So yeah, possibly if we can trade back into sort of these areas here, we might see that buying volume push up again, but who knows? Okay. We got no participants today, so this can be a nice, short and sweet one. Appreciate everyone for watching, if you do watch. And see you next week. This is the last one of the week, so yeah. Peace out. See you next week.